Right now.
I'm wearing headphones, rocking it back old school radio days.
How about that?
And somebody said it looks like I'm plugged into a Walkman. And I remember when I got my first Walkman, because my brothers and I had to share it. And I was the youngest, so how often do you think I got it? And you had your case of cassettes, and then people started to crap on your music selection. And I'm like, then bring yours then! How many times did we have that conversation at parties?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Thank you, Rick Regan. And welcome to Canada's daytime sports talk show. We say howdy to Canadian sports fans around the world. You're watching on Game Plus Television Network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Moose DuPont's with me. How you doing, Moose?
I'm doing well.
You ready to talk sports?
Absolutely.
It's funny the boys would dig up the headphone discussion from yesterday because I have fixed it.
I saw that.
I kind of look like those goofs that walk around with the earrings.
The earrings
but it's not. It's had a little wild goose chase this morning. Went to Walmart, went to London Drugs, and I found this hook thing over my ear. And Bob's your uncle.
All right.
I feel good.
It looks good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's the golf shirt, actually. Today's jersey. How about that? Today's jersey, proudly presented by the Stony Plain Eagles Junior A Hockey Club. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you. Big day today. Chad Jeter's going to be joining us, the newest member of the United States Air Force. Sounds very regal, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. But he is the retired Saskatchewan Roughriders defensive lineman, and he's going to speak on behalf of all these veterans that have retired in the CFL. Like, this is the latest thing. And, man, you're going to hear stuff today that you're not going to hear anywhere, any other talk show, because we got the goods, and it's coming up. So Chad Jeter's going to be with us. And Jerry Teabag Hack. Quite a story there. He's an author. He's a famed goaltender, and his nickname's Teabag. And it sounds dirty, but it's not. And I'm going to ask him why his nickname's Teabag.
Okay. I can't wait.
So he's out of Vancouver. I'm not sure if he's a bestseller, right? But he's close. And his life story, Memoirs of a Hockey Nobody. It's a pretty good book. I read it. It's good. So that's what's coming up today. Can we hit the quick six show topics, please, Director Jordan? Director Jordan got something going on after this. Do you notice he's dressed in all black, long black jeans, black shoes, black shit? A motorcycle test, he said. That's what I thought. He's dressed like he's going to work in the theater or something. You know what I mean?
Do something, yeah.
He says a motorcycle test. Whatever that is. Okay. The quick six show topics here in the warm-up for Ecol Electric are of importance to me. Maybe they're not the most important things in the world, but to me, this is what they are. So number one, what's with the retirements? That's what I have written down, and I'm talking about the Canadian Football League. I opened my emails today, and wango! Email from the Ottawa Red Blacks saying Brad Sinopoulos announced his retirement. And of all the retirements, and with apologies to Derek Dennis, which I think it is an retirement, not a pause in his career.
Right. And
Chad Jeter and Tech Schramm and these guys. No, Sinopoulos was the eye-opener to me. What? And if you read the statement, which is on the Red Blacks website and our website at rodpedersen.com, he just says time to move on, time to reflect. He's had family time. And you stack up all the... Taylor Loeffler last night. That dude is my kind of guy. I met him at Mark's CFL week here in Regina a couple weeks ago. Got his Wrangler jeans on and his cowboy boots. I'm like, what is your deal? He goes, well, I was raised in Regina. I'm like, what? Because he played at UBC and he'd been in the States, I think in the NCAA for a while. He's gone. So I'm like, what is going on? So I sent a text to an agent friend this morning, and I said, what is going on? And his text back to me was, for my guys, either the passion for the game isn't there anymore, injuries have piled up, or they are making more money doing something else, or a combo of these things. So I know that we're throwing a lot at you here this morning, but absorb all of that. So, but the thing is, they're not, I've seen the viewers write in and go, oh, well, next man up. And that's fine. I'm sure I'm way too defensive on the player's side. But Brad Sinopoulos sells tickets. He makes me want to watch the Ottawa Red Blacks. That's the thing. The players are the lifeblood of the league. That's my take on the retirements, and that's the reason for the retirements, I guess. But we're at the tip of the iceberg. I talked to a coach this morning who said, We're not so far from the finish line. We're so far away from the starters blocks.
Oh, yeah.
Take it away, son.
And there's a lot more that aren't going to make it to the starters blocks. And
as a league, they're nowhere near the starters blocks. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, and this is just the start. There's going to be more retirements, more players. We haven't even had anybody get cut, really. So that will start once they get on the field for camps. I mean, it's tough. And whether it's a money issue, whether it's a COVID issue, because, there are going to be heavy restrictions on the players, and some of them don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That'll be tough. Whether it's, you got to take care of your family, and do you want to go through all these hoops for $100,000 and be away from your family for 6 months, and A, B, and C becomes really, really hard. But for me, Brad Sinopoli is 33 years old, one of the leading receivers in the entire league, top Canadian. Here's a premier player in your league, a marketable player, a Canadian player, and he's retiring. That should be a big wake-up call, and you have to do whatever you can to protect these guys and keep them around.
Well, I would think, but he's staying to work for the Red Blacks as a community ambassador, and I'm looking at this going, if you're going to work for the team anyways, why don't you just play? That was the first thing that I thought of, but I'm like, no, he doesn't want to be in the gym 4 or 5 hours a day. He doesn't want to be practicing out in the hot sun every day, because it is hard work. It's not just what the fans see 3 hours a week. There's so much more that goes into it. So anyways, that's sort of the reasons behind the retirement. Now, I got a DM yesterday from a guy who said that some players are balking at the long list of COVID restrictions and the waiver that they have to sign, because there's a lot of restrictions when these players show up for training camp, and then what they're looking at for the next 6 months. I asked that agent friend of mine, I said, is there anything to this? The players are balking at the COVID restrictions, and he said, I hadn't heard that. So there's a lot of stuff out there right now, but not a lot of it is good. Anyways, moving on. I was hoping I didn't have to talk about this, but the Montreal Canadiens beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-1 last night, and Vegas did not play well. They are not the team that roared back against Colorado. They're not the team that tied Colorado in the regular season. And I do think that they can come back and win the next two. I do. All of us Golden Knights fans on our text string were saying that. We have to say that,
of course,
right? But the poll question today is that, can the Vegas Golden Knights come back and beat Montreal in this series? 62% on Twitter saying no. Did they flash the Facebook?
Not the results.
What are they saying?
69% say no.
Ye of little faith. But I think that's because we're a Canadian-based show. But I might say we got more viewers in Vegas than Montreal, and I know that to be fact because we see that, right?
That's right.
We have that in the analytics. So come on, Vegas, where are you at? Get voting on the polls here. But they got to pick up their socks. This is not Marc-Andre Fleury. And for the most part, Montreal fans left me alone last night. Some didn't. But guys are like, well, if you have 2 goals, you don't have 1. They can't score goals, you jackwagon. It's got nothing to do with the Flower or Robin Leonard. They got to score. Their defensive play was abhorrent last night. They weren't getting quality shots. These aren't the Golden Knights that we're all used to. But they can flip a switch. They've done it before. The question is, do you think they will?
They have to. I mean, That's it. When your top 6 is pretty much irrelevant, that's a problem. And for Vegas, the top 6 has been pretty irrelevant this series. That can't happen. It's not a goaltending issue at all.
No.
I don't think they made the wrong decision to go to Marc-Andre Fleury. We both thought that was the right decision. But you have to score goals. You have to score. And you can't wait till the third period to start playing hockey. And that's what Vegas did. In the third period, they started playing and taking it to Montreal. But look at this Montreal Canadiens team is a great case study on buy-in, on game plan, because it's not just Carey Price anymore. I mean, they only need a goal or 2 to win hockey games, and that's been the case in like 11 or 12 games these playoffs, which is wild that they've only needed a couple of goals to win. But the entire team has bought into Ducharme's game plan and now Richardson's game plan. Team defense, take advantage when you have opportunities, skate, and they're all on the same page. And that's how you win.
Us Golden Knights fans just watch in horror. That's all we can do. And you think, is this the 2021 version of the LA Kings that fired Terry Murray and replaced him with Darryl Sutter and won the Stanley Cup? Is this the version of the St. Louis Blues that fired Mike Yeo, brought in Craig Berube, and won the Stanley Cup? I hope not, but I'll just say this because I'm a Vegas fan. I respect Montreal. So if this is the way that it goes, then go win it all. But I still think Vegas will win the next 2 games. From John Ohm in Winnipeg. John Ohm, hook up your jackwagon, folks, and let's ride. It's one of my favorite terms, jackwagon. I don't use it enough. Colin is in Ottawa watching. He says, dude, Ottawa's best receiver, Jalen Saunders, got into a serious car crash a couple of months ago, and now the best possession receiver, Brad Sinopoli, is retired. Red Blacks ain't making the playoffs, and I'm a fan of the team. From a CFL perspective, it's just, I feel bad for those guys and gals. They're trying to make it happen. This is the warm-up brought to you by Ecol Electric, your complete electrical distributor with locations in Regina, Estevan, Swift Current, Yorkton, and Moose Jaw. Ecol Electric. Let's get to work. Right after coffee. Point 3, Tampa Bay and the Islanders tonight. It's Game 6. Tampa has the chance to end this thing tonight. I really hope it wasn't. I was on the Slapshot Sweethearts podcast last night, and they're asking if I thought it was going to end tonight. I'm like, no, I don't want it to. No, I want 7 games. I want more hockey. Right? And I saw some stat. I was reading the NHL PR website this morning. Something like the Islanders are 16-5 all-time in elimination games at Nassau County Coliseum. And I'm like, they have to have played more than 21 elimination games in that rink. You could play conceivably 12 in one playoff season. But the point is, in that barn, they have a very high winning percentage at elimination games. So I think the Islanders come back and win tonight. I'm just going to move on fast. Sorry. Point 4. How about those Blue Jays? They won in Miami last night 2-1. They're starting to get something going. George Springer was back, but he was 0 for 4. Talk about sticker shock. How about buyer's remorse? Has that come in yet? Are we there yet?
Yeah.
I am. But that's just me. I'm not Joe Blue Jay.
Montoya's not. Those guys in the locker room aren't, but in the front office are like, 100 and how much million?
I know.
You know, when they're doing the Moneyball
What's the return?
You pay for runs. You're getting nothing on that investment. And the Jays, who typically do, this is what sucks. The Jays, who historically haven't spent money, now, Rogers goes back and says, this is why we don't spend money. We don't need to spend money.
Exactly.
When we spend money, it doesn't work. And Atkins and, the guys there and Shapiro are like, no. This is a one-off.
He was supposed to be the centerpiece to a run.
Yeah.
So pick it up, George. Anyways, Jays Marlins doing it again tonight. I'm just checking the comments. What's Chucky talking about? Oh, Charleston Hughes. Okay, Charleston Hughes is getting in a lot of trouble for his XFL comments. I'm sure he's okay with it. Darren Workman, good morning from cloudy Salt Lake City. First day under 100 degrees in a week and a half. Whew. I'd take it. From Daryl in Toronto, Rod, what are your thoughts on the NLL's Las Vegas team's star-studded ownership group? We covered that a couple days ago. Wayne Gretzky, Steve Nash, Dustin Johnson. What's not to love? Let's play. Let's go. The only sucky thing is they're not going to. They got to go through a whole season of NLL before. Let's just start in the fall. What the hell? You got the arena ready.
Let's just go.
So many good comments in here. I'm sorry. I got from Andrew Stute. Bonjour, Rod. They got their center back. The Habs shut them down. They can't get to the net as they're being boxed out. Will be crazy for Saint Jean Baptiste. We the North. Oh, come on. Stop it. One thing I noticed, though, people really hate me calling the Golden Knights Canada's team. Woo! Boy. Which is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I was on a show in Winnipeg yesterday with Winnipeg Sports Talk, by the way, and they're just like, ticks us off every time you call the Golden Knights Canada's team. I'm like, good, because that's the whole idea. But they we're talking with Patterson, Hustler, about doing a sports trip to Vegas, Darren. It was his idea. He goes, you go down there and do your show, 11 to 1 Central every day, and then we'll take over from 1 to 3 Central, and we'll go when the Jets are there. So we'll have a Winnipeg-Vegas thing, because we're the Vegas guys, and they're the Winnipeg guys. And I put that on social media, and people are like, take my money.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't have a problem selling that out.
That would be outstanding. That would be outstanding, just to build off of what we've done on the sports trips and, what we're hopefully going to do this year. And then to be able to add that, I think that would just be money in the bank.
That was a great song by John Anderson, Money in the Bank. You know that one?
I do.
Guy writes in, Sinopoly's gone. Yeah, that's so 15 minutes ago, dude. That was point 1 here in the Quick 6 show topics. Point 5, how about the Cinderella Suns? How about that? This is a really good year for the Arizona Diamondbacks to suck and set a record for road losses in Major League Baseball because nobody's paying attention in Phoenix. And I got a buddy last night, a Phoenix guy, texting me about the Suns. He's like, did you see the end of the game? Oh, my God, they inbounded with a half a second to go, and the Suns won. And I'm like, no, the Golden Knights were playing. What are you talking about? No, I was not watching. But I did watch the highlights on SportsCenter this morning, and it looked like they can't cram another soul into Talking Stick Arena with a shoehorn. Like the Suns, I believe, and I spent a lot of time in Phoenix, are the number 1 team in the Valley of the Sun. And they've been garbage forever. City doesn't really have a great sports history. But the Suns have been there since 1968.
Right.
They're the oldest team in the Valley, and they love the Suns, and they're finally doing something.
Enjoy it. It's got to start somewhere, right?
So it's a good time, Coyotes. You can continue to suck for a little while. Oh, and then point 6, soccer? Question mark? Well, I don't. Are you following a team in Euro 2020? Did I ask you?
Well, England and France kind of.
Because of DuPont?
Yeah. DuPont's a French name, and my dad's got some English in him, too. So probably England. They're both okay. They'll move on to the next round.
That's the interesting thing. Yeah, I'm following Denmark because that's my native land. Mm-hmm. I said once to my dad, Dad, you ever want to go to Denmark? See the Pedersens? He's like, no. Okay, out with that idea. But it's like here with Montreal, there's all these French people around here, and they're all Habs fans. It's like if you're born with a French name, you automatically have to cheer for Montreal, unless you're you.
Yeah.
But if you notice, French people are all Montreal fans.
That's right.
Go figure. Shelby Gray says, you should team up with Spit and Chicklets for a show, Rod, the 2 best sports talk shows. I would do that. How about that? Let's talk to Biz Nasty about it. He invited us down.
If we go to Phoenix, then that's very much on the table.
That's our Arizona ace in the hole. Okay. We're going to take a break. And we got Chad Jeter ready? All right. I'm looking forward to chatting with this guy. All these CFL players are retiring. This guy's chief among them. Maybe he can speak for them all. Chad Jeter. When we come back. This has been the warm-up for Recall Electric. You were watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio. For Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.